Joey, so nice to meet you. How are you today?
Doing well. Really nice to meet you, Bonnie.
Great. Listen, show, I don't even know what to say. My goodness, global phenomenon is an understatement. And I wanted to know from you right off the bat, my friend, when you were on set, first day, or maybe even read the first scripts, did you know that you were working on something very special here?
Honestly, I loved the material. I was very excited to be part of the project, but had zero clue of the impact the show would have on people. I
Right.
mean, we started off as a crowd-funded project, we didn't really know what was going to happen after that. And here we are now, what is it, 5 years, 6 years later? We just
Yep.
wrapped season five. The show is being distributed globally. I mean, we have fans from all over the world that send us messages about how the show has impacted them. And I truly am in shock. You know what I mean? This is the dream. You're living the dream of what you want to do. You want to be affecting people with your work. And so far it seems to be working, I guess.
It seems to be working indeed, because I don't think I've ever really heard of a show where it has its own app, where you download an app that you can watch it like
Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah, totally. And it's cool because it's allowing people to watch on a platform that is free. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You don't have to give them your email, your social, none of that kinds of stuff. You just get on there and you watch the show. And because people love the show so much, it makes them want to pay it forward for other people to watch the show. So it's a really cool community that we've built, that I think is very different from any other type of TV show or movie, really.
For sure. Yeah, it really is unique. There's no question about it. And as you say, I mean, it's clearly touching people, not of all religions, because, okay, let's face it, you're brought up as a kid, pretty much everybody reads the Bible, or you know the stories of certain characters or whatever, whether it's as far back as Jesus or whoever, Moses, whatever it is, the stories, Noah's Ark, whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When you book the role, though, I mean, we know about doubting Thomas. We know already he's got that label on him. Did you have to go back, kind of start reading back on the Bible, doing research? How did you kind of approach it?
Definitely. I mean, whenever something is based off of history, you want to do justice by that. You want to do your best. So definitely went back and read the New Testament and whatnot. And, to my surprise, Thomas isn't mentioned that much. I would say the same for a lot of the disciples. There are very
Yes.
few lines about who they are. I mean, usually if you're reading something like that, in my opinion, the typical thing is like, this thing happened on this day and it was good. And that's kind of all you're really getting. But what the writers have done so beautifully with The Chosen is they've taken these moments of scripture and they've flushed them out into these really beautiful relationships between each other. They flushed them out
Yes.
into these really beautiful characters who are human beings. They're not yet saints or stained glass windows. They really are just people that you can identify with and see, oh man, Thomas has gone through this traumatic event and I went through something like this and he sees me. I feel like I see myself in him. Or um, Eden had a miscarriage in season three. Like I never had anyone to talk to about that. And now the show is showing that for me and I
Right.
can really relate to it. I feel seen. So it's really been a big thing for a lot of people to feel like we are speaking to them through the television screen.
Yeah, it's very cool. And you mentioned relationships, because what I find too about this, what I when I watch it, I feel that there's a very strong bond between the cast members. Like, I don't know if you can really fake that, because if you guys are, you're really awesome actors.
Yeah, it's it's so crazy because I've heard of stories with other actors on other sets in the past and whatnot, and while they're getting to do what they want to do and they're enjoying it, the environment might sometimes feel off or it feels like a job or whatever it
Sure.
is, But with us, all of us came onto this show as relatively, unknown people, and I say that with all respect to everybody, but no one really knew who we are or what the show was, and
Yeah.
we all just kind of bonded together. We cracked jokes with each other on set, and we genuinely are rooting for one another. We genuinely have a love for each other. On top of us hanging out outside of set or in between shooting seasons. And I think that camaraderie that we develop off screen really comes onto the screen and is what is making people enjoy it even more, because they feel like they're one of the gang in a way. You know, they
Sure.
feel they're part of the group.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you about playing Thomas, from day one when we first met him in the series to now. He's developed a lot. He's changed, in the beginning he was just scared and doubting and all that. But he has developed. How have you enjoyed playing him and seeing his arc change from day one to now?
Honestly, it's a dream. I mean, these are the types of roles that I would read, in college and whatnot, or that I would watch and admire. And I feel very lucky and fortunate to be able to do something like this, because as you said, we see Thomas as this warrior in season one who's really wanting to get it right and do the right thing.
Right.
And as the show progresses, he starts to come out of his shell a lot more. We get to see a really sweet side to him with Rayma and, like, the group trying to get him and Rayma together. And season
Yeah.
four comes along, and we kind of drop this bomb on people, particularly with Thomas, who just has the rug pulled out from under him. So it's a complete shift in the opposite direction. And for me, it's been such a joy, and I hope people have been getting something special out of it, or it's been affecting them in a positive way.
Okay, I got kind of a weird question for you, but I think it could go somewhere here. Okay, if you could go back in time, sit down and have a coffee with one of the disciples,
Uh-huh.
whether it is even Thomas or maybe even Jesus, who would it be, and what would you say to them?
That's a very, very good question. Honestly, I think I might want to talk to Judas. Um,
Okay, interesting. Tell me a little bit about why.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
I think I would want to talk to Judas and maybe just ask him about how he felt about everybody, regardless of what he did. I just would be curious to know what his relationship was like to everyone. And, was that something that maybe made him feel isolated? Was it something that he, maybe he didn't get along with the rest of the group as much as we would think, or something like that. I mean, there has to be some kind of a reason for him doing what he did outside of just, I just want some silver or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'd
Yeah.
also be curious to know of if he was an outcast. I'm always interested in the perspective of the perspective from the outcast of the rest of the group, because
Hmm.
they're seeing stuff a little bit differently than everybody else. They're kind of more observing as opposed to participating. So I would probably ask him what he thought about Thomas, if he was as much of a warrior as we're making him out to be.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that, right? To go back in time and go, how would you pick their brain? Like, I just think that would be, but especially with these characters, because everybody knows who they are, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just fascinating to watch. So, you've done so many other things too, but this one clearly has to be a very big highlight of your career. Have you found yourself, thinking, stepping back when after each season, you cut, you go home, you're sitting in your apartment, your home, and thinking about, this one's really struck me in some way. Like, do you find that it's changed you?
I think what it's done is it's made me extremely grateful for what I have in my life. I mean, there'll be times where it sounds as strange as it sounds, there'll be times where I'll be driving to set when we're shooting in Texas or Utah, and I'll just have these moments of being like, I I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, this is crazy. This is what I wanted to do with my life, and I'm getting to do it with a group of people that I genuinely have so much love in my heart for. And
Nice.
it's also affecting a crazy amount of people. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna look back on this once the show is done, and I mean, it's hitting me now already, but I feel like it will hit me even more, a couple years out, 5 years out, 10 years out from being on the show, of really how lucky we were to be a part of it and how much of an impact something like this had. There are very few shows or movies that come every now and again that really are a cultural phenomenon, or that just have such a massive impact on people, like
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was kind of like that for me when it came out. It was such a big deal, and it was a big deal because the writing was exceptional, the acting was exceptional, all this stuff, and it just kind of took everybody by storm. So Not that I'm saying we're Game of Thrones or anything, you know, but it
Well, you're
feels
pretty close.
it
I'm gonna
is,
put you
it
up
is.
there. Okay, I agree
Sure.
with you.
I'll take that. But it's really nice to see that the impact that it's having. That's why we
Yeah.
do what we do. That's why, you know, actors and artists and all writers, all that stuff, musicians do what we do because yes, we enjoy it, but we're also doing it for people. I feel like it's an
Yeah.
act for other people to find joy in their life too.
Absolutely. Well, it's wonderful. Like I said, it's really is such a great series. I know season 4 just obviously just dropped, but we can't wait for 5 already. So, you know,
Yeah.
just keep it coming. But thank you so much for your time today, Joey. I really appreciate you talking about the show, and best of luck with everything. Have yourself a great weekend. Appreciate your time.
Bonnie, appreciate you, and I hope to talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.